So now you're ready to work on the straitjacket roll. I remember when I was first learning it, I was trying to figure out where I could learn it from, because there wasn't a video, there wasn't a DVD, and I went to a Greenland event just assuming that surely someone there would be doing it. And not only did they not do it, but when I asked around if someone could show me, they're like, no one can do that one. So it was just a puzzle for me to figure out and experiment with, and it was fun. So I encourage you, when you attempt this very difficult roll, that you do it playfully and just have a lot of fun. So now that you've decided to do this roll, we've broken it down for you into more easy steps. We're going to start with the elbow roll, and then a double elbow roll, which doesn't sound hard, but you're eliminating that counterbalance. And then rolling in the prayer position, and then a looser straitjacket roll, and then slowly tightening it up.
Before you start this progression towards the straitjacket roll, it's essential that you've got an efficient hand roll. Cheri's not going to go straight to the straitjacket roll. We're going to look at some other rolls first that get progressively harder and will set you up well for getting to your straitjacket roll.
So we're going to look at the straitjacket roll progression. That's the hand roll. Now we're going to look at the elbow roll. Stretch nice and tall. Bring the elbow all the way over. Finishing nicely onto the back deck. Then take a double elbow. Get really good rotation. And then the hands in prayer position. Kind of limits your ability to move a bit. Oops. All right, hands in prayer position. Then a looser jacket. Then you could slowly progress to a tighter and tighter straitjacket. Okay, now we're going to look at how we get to a straitjacket roll. We're going to look at a progression, and we're going to start with the elbow roll, then move to a double elbow roll, and then move to hands in prayer position, and then a looser straitjacket roll. So first, let's look at the elbow roll. So Renata's going to put her hand behind her head and reach this elbow as close to that gunnel as she can get it, and show us an elbow roll. Nice.
As we progress through these harder and harder rolls, the setup becomes more and more important. Getting as rotated as far as you can and getting that elbow towards that side of the kayak as much as possible. With this single elbow roll, we still have the counterbalance of our other arm. This is essential to use this in the same way that we used it with the hand roll. This will really help you come up that last bit and onto the back deck. Another key technique with the elbow roll is the opening up of the elbow to use it to kind of sweep and give you some form of recovery force. So as you capsize, you should have your elbow close to your head. allowing you to smoothly capsize and come up the other side. And then at the point where you use that leg drive, you can open the elbow out. So you're tucking up, coming around, and then you're doing three things at once. You're opening your elbow out, dropping your head back, and driving with your leg to bring the kayak back upright. If you follow the progression in the last lesson, you should find that going from a hand roll to a single elbow roll should be okay. You still have your counterbalance arm to help you up and onto the back deck.
So now we're going to move from just the single elbow roll to the double elbow roll. So with a single elbow, you still have this counterbalance. We're going to take that away and do a double elbow roll. Can you show us what that looks like? One elbow, two elbow. Great. Nice. Head back. Good. You can see how she's really focusing on her core to bring her body onto the back deck. That was good.
There's not really a great bit of difference between the single elbow and the double elbow. The only difficult part is getting that body out the water at the end when you don't have the counterbalance. It means you're going to have to get the technique just right. Cheri's going to work on the techniques for this recovery onto the back deck without the counterbalance arm later in this lesson when we're looking at the actual straitjacket. For these rolls, it's going to be really important that you've got a boat with a low back deck that you can easily recover onto. If you look at Cheri rolling here with a double elbow roll, she's not really using the opening out of the elbows to help her roll, which means that she's relying on a body motion completely. If you feel like you've got your double elbow roll to this point, you can then start to think about looking at the prayer roll.
So the next step in the progression is to bring your hands into a prayer position. So instead of having even like a half an arm behind your head, you're going to bring your hands into this loose prayer position in front of your chest. Yeah, and just try and roll that way. The problem without using your arms or a paddle or having any kind of lever is the only way you have of bringing those hips up is to really move those hips very dramatically. It's quite a snappy movement, okay? She's getting really good rotation here. She's going to tuck the best she can. You can see she snapped the kayak around, and now it's all core strength there, bringing her body to the back deck. Nice. Good.
So the key part again that's really tricky is getting that body onto the back deck. We're going to develop this technique as we go through the straitjacket roll. Cheri's now going to work through the straitjacket roll and look at some of these techniques involved in getting that body out of the water onto the back deck. You can then bring these back to the prayer roll and the double elbow roll as you're progressing towards the straitjacket.
So the next step in the progression, once you've got that hands in prayer position, is to move to a looser straitjacket roll. So a really tight straitjacket roll is here. We're just going to loosen it up a little bit so the hands kind of show a bit. Want to try it? She's going to get all the rotation she can, try and tuck the best she can, and it's going to be that snappy, that real snappy hip snap movement. Great. So she's got herself to the floating on the surface position. She just needs to use the core strength and pull herself up onto the back deck. Very nice. Now the full straitjacket would be with the hands missing, which is very difficult.
Like that?
Yeah. Thumbs. No thumbs. Thumbs.
No thumbs.
Thumb. Yeah. Oh.
But for now, as you're developing this roll, you can stick with a really nice loose straitjacket before we start tightening it all up.
So it's time to discuss some of the various aspects of learning the straitjacket roll. It's kind of a tricky one. You want to really rotate a bunch. And then, because your arms are crossed, you have to really get the kayak rocking a bit, really drive your head underwater, try to get it really deep and get a really strong hips. That's all you have. You have no arms, you have no hands, no elbows, just the hips. So you need a very strong dive into the water and a strong hip up, and then bring your body across the back deck.
So you can see that she's using a really forceful dive into the water and then a very fast, snappy hip snap to right the kayak.
So Renata's now going to show a common mistake, and we're going to talk about how to fix that. Okay, go ahead. Just do the best you can. So you can see where she's stuck here in the water, close to the kayak. And this shoulder's deep in the water, and this shoulder's not so deep. So we want to try and get them equal. So the goal is to lift up, push this shoulder down. The first shoulder to the kayak has to go down, and that one has to go up. Go ahead, slide yourself onto the back deck. Good. So the common mistake is to press down on that first shoulder, causing an ever so slightly knifing of the shoulders.
Knifing shoulders has been quite a common theme when it comes to the front to back finishing rolls. Lifting one shoulder out and the other one diving into the water. With the straitjacket roll, this becomes even more important. Any slight diving to the shoulders will stop you getting that body onto the back deck.
That shoulder down, shoulder up, come across the back deck. Good. One way I like to think about it is think about pushing your belly up to the sky and don't really let your shoulders touch the kayak. So float back out there. This shoulder goes down, this one comes up, belly comes way up, head goes way back, and then slide onto the back deck. Good. So the next steps is to try the straitjacket roll without your hands showing at all. Really nice and tight. It's very difficult. She's going to give it a try. If she can't do it, she's going to loosen her arms up or just come up in a hand roll. So she's turned the kayak over and she's got herself into a position where she's floating on the surface of the water. It's a pretty tough position to recover from, but she's going to give it a try. I'll give her a little assist with the kayak. Drop your head all the way back. There we go. It's an extremely difficult roll. We just drown people that can't do it.
Like that.
Yeah. That's good though. That's close. That's really good.
In terms of the Greenland games and for the roll to count, the hands must be covered. Of course, this is pretty extreme and really hard to do. The key thing is to try and do it as close to that as possible. If you need to open the arms out a little bit just to get that straitjacket to work, that's fine. This is about developing skills and having fun with it. And of course, it's nice to get it in one motion where you come straight up, but sometimes you may need to pause, or sometimes you may need to reset yourself, get into your solid float, and then recover back up. If you're developing this roll, just have fun with the learning process. It's a tricky one.